Wonderful to be with all of you right now. Let's just take a breath and feel into our heart center, that connection of friendship, no matter the distance. And then drawing up to the point between the eyebrows, connecting with our divine friends, masters. Let's pray together. Heavenly Father, Divine Mother, friend, beloved God, Jesus Christ, Babaji Krishna, Lahiri Mahashaya, Swami Shri Yukteswar, and our beloved Guru, Paramhansa Yogananda, saints of every tradition, we humbly invoke thy presence in our hearts and in our minds. Be with us now in this satsang. Help us to raise our consciousness, raise our energy to meet every test, every challenge with greater willingness and greater joy. Be with us now and be with us always, for we are thine, ever thine. Om, peace. Amen.
Reveal thyself, 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 reveal thyself. Today we are very lucky to have our former East Coast Guru Bhais joining us from Ananda Village. So Jitendra was with us until 2014. He was a big part of the Ananda, Rhode Island Sangha there. Really helped solidify the energy there, along with Kelly G and Gila and Kyle and all the others. And Erin was the same. Erin, you were in Rhode Island till what year?
I moved to Portland in 2016.
Erin teaches at the school at Ananda Village. Jitendra, who many of you probably know, is one of the directors of Ananda Online, and
of what do I need to learn? And Erin and I were inspired to share about this topic with just reflecting on, I think, where we're at, as well as just seeing our friends and others' journey at this time. I wanted to first read from Whispers from Eternity, which, bringing in our beloved Guru's words and guidance, of course, I think is most of what I have to share. This poem and prayer that Guruji wrote was, I was made for thee. And so I invite you to close the eyes and feel your heart and soul whispering these words to your Guru, to Divine Mother, to God, and feel them to be real in this moment for you. I was made for thee alone. I was made for dropping flowers of devotion gently at thy feet on the altar of the morning. My hands were made to serve thee willingly, to remain folded in adoration, waiting for thy coming. And when thou comest to bathe thy feet with my tears, my voice was made to sing thy glory. My feet were made to seek thy temples everywhere. My eyes were made a chalice to hold thy burning love in the wisdom falling from thy nature's hands. My ears were made to catch the music of thy footsteps echoing through the halls of space, and to hear thy divine melodies flowing through all heart tracks of devotion. My lips were made to breathe forth thy praises and thine intoxicating inspirations. My love was made to throw incandescent searchlight flames, to find thee hidden in the forest of my desires. My heart was made to respond to thy call alone. My soul was to be made the channel through which thy love might flow uninterruptedly into all thirsty souls. And so with this topic today of what do I need to learn, really I think is emphasized in this poem that Guruji gave to us. I was made for thee. What do we need to learn? What do we need? We need to awaken to this truth that each and every one of us was made in the image of God. We were each made as a reflection of this pure, blissful, joyful, infinite light and joy of God. And you, as a child of God, and many of you who I know are disciples of Paramahansa Yogananda, have been incarnated in this life to realize this, to have the direct perception of the self, of the perfect reflection of the soul through Kriya Yoga, through meditation, through our service to our neighbors, our friends. And this is really as our Guru said, that the primary reason for life is to realize that we are made in this image and that we are children of God. And the only purpose of life is to seek God and to become one with God. And so what do we need? Well, we need more of this. We need more realization of this. We need to remember this more and to see that everything in our life individually has been placed with absolute accuracy for you to maximize the potential in every moment of your life to find God and to realize this truth through your own direct perception. You know, on this topic of what do I need? What do I really need at this time? I know that there's so much happening with the virus and there's so much changes happening. And so with all of this change, you know, that question to ask ourselves, what do I really need? What do I need right now? Is a very popular question, I think. And there's a lot of energy that's being put forth as a response to that question. And so one thing that I would like to say that for us is that what do we need? Well, one I would say is that we need attunement. Because when we're in tune with the Guru, when we're in tune with Divine Mother, we are, in fact, in a state of grace. And when we are in a state of grace, all our needs are cared for. Isn't it so? Have you ever had that experience, perhaps at the end of meditation, when you have that direct perception of the self, as it is expressed perhaps with joy or light, of love, stillness, whatever quality that begins to rise within? Isn't it so that you get up from that meditation and you feel you can conquer the world? I mean, that feeling of all the little worries or the little nagging thoughts that come and peck at our consciousness every day, they're simply not there. Well, where did they go? You know, sometimes I would ask that question of this thing that I was worrying about so much, it's not here anymore. Where did it go? Well, I think the thing is that that worry or that pecking thought, drawing our consciousness down and away from that presence of stillness or peace or joy, that's not who we are. And the more that we experience this in some way calm after effect of meditation, of the reflection of the soul, we're in that state of grace and we are flowing with the guidance of Divine Mother, the guidance of our Guru. We feel protected, we feel loved, and we know that whatever we need will be given to us, will be brought to us. And the more we experience this, the more that we begin to build that trust in the Guru, trust in Divine Mother. Here at Ananda Village, there's a brief story I wanted to share that when the virus first hit California, people were trying to figure out how to navigate forward. So Ananda Village was on the brink of going into isolation. And Jyotishan Devi Ji asked the village, if possible, to just stay home. If you need to go to town or something for an emergency or whatever your needs are, of course, you have to honor that. But if you can, stay isolated for, I think it was a 4-week period of time that we were really asked to honor that. So just before the quote unquote lockdown here at Ananda Village, like many of devotees here, and perhaps like you, I thought, well, I took a look at my my food situation, and it was looking a little dim. I had peanut butter and jelly on hand, and you know, some of the staples to my diet, but I felt, you know, I should stock up on some things in case I have to quarantine or something. So I was feeling a little restless about this, but I felt, you know, I need to take care of this need. So I went to town, which of course, many of the shelves were empty. I ended up buying lots of veggies and some canned beans. And, you know, I certainly also, when knowing that I might be isolated for some time, of course, I made sure I had enough chocolate and pancake mix and, you know, all the necessities in case of the end of the world was coming. So I got all of these things and I came home and I put all my groceries away and I thought, okay, well, I'm pretty set here for a decent amount of time. But then I noticed that there was a feeling within me that was still feeling restless. There was still something in me that felt that I had forgotten something, forgotten a need that was very important to me. And of course, I knew that I had bought some rice, I bought some beans, you know, the things that would carry me over for whatever extent of time, not knowing what was going to happen. But there was still this restlessness and this feeling of need. Even though I had gathered everything I would possibly need, there was still that emptiness. And so I just sat with that for some time. What is this feeling? I think it was immediately began to realize that due to the increase of restlessness, due to the increase of desire and my consciousness beginning to expand out into the material world of trying to, you know, take care of myself and making sure I had everything I needed, I began to slip. My energy began to slip from being in tune with my Guru, being in tune with the higher self. And as a result of that, I felt that lack. I felt that emptiness, that need. And so that is not to say that we shouldn't take care of our needs, that we shouldn't go get our beans and our rice, and certainly not to forget our chocolate and, you know, whatever else that we're in need of. It's not to say that. But we also have to remember that if we are not in tune, and if we're not feeling that presence of the Guru, if we're not feeling that presence of the soul, of our higher self, we're going to feel that lack. We're going to feel, until we feel saturated with that presence, we're always going to have a need. Now, the consciousness in the heart, as we've lived so many lives with seeking our fulfillment outside of ourselves, there's that natural pull and attraction from Maya to look outside of ourselves for that fulfillment or that need. And it's a really difficult process to engage in, because no matter how much you fill your bank account, no matter how much you fill your food cabinets, there's always still going to be that need until we find that presence awakened within us of the Guru's grace, the Guru's presence. Then we feel that security. And both are very much needed. We have to take care of ourselves, body, mind, and spirit. Our Guru taught so much about how we need to care for the body, exercising, eating properly, taking care of the mind, taking care of the soul. We have to do this also, but to also recognize that at the center of it all lies our ability to attune to that unchanging reality within us. And as we go deeper into that presence, you'll find that everything begins to flow, and that all of the needs that you may be caught in that conditional reasoning of if this, then that. You know, how often do we get caught in that conditional reasoning of that logical statement, if this, then that? You know, how easy the ego latches onto that, which pulls us into worry, pulls us into fear. But you have to see that if this, then that is endless, except for when it's rooted in the Guru. It's rooted in Divine Mother, that if I give myself unconditionally and give as much as I can to the Guru, then yes, that awakening presence will be there. But everything else, as our Guru said, is temporary. So seek that unchanging reality. There's a story in the Mahabharata that I was very inspired by recently reading again, and some of you may know this story, but Dronacharya, who represents the quality of habit, he was a teacher for both the Pandavas and Kauravas. And he was training the Pandavas on this day, and Duryodhana accused Dronacharya of favoring Arjuna. So to prove him wrong, he gathered the Pandavas and first called Yudhisthira to come up. What he did was he placed a wooden bird on a branch, and he asked Yudhisthira to draw a bow and arrow. And before he asked, of course, the goal of this was to hit the eye of the bird. But before he allowed the student to release the arrow, he asked, "What do you see?" In Yudhisthira, his response was, "I see the bird, I see the branch, I see the leaves blowing in the wind, and I see the sky behind the tree." And so Dronacharya said, "Thank you," asked him to place down the bow and arrow, and he asked the other students to come up. And he asked them to draw the bow and arrow, and he asked all of them, "What do you see?" And all the students, all the Pandavas, replied in a similar fashion until Arjuna came up. When Arjuna came up, Dronacharya asked Arjuna, "Draw your bow and arrow, what do you see?" And Arjuna's response was, "I only see the eye of the bird." And Dronacharya then, of course, praised Arjuna that this is the essence of course, the test. It's the essence of what he's trying to teach the Pandavas and for all of us, is to realize that whatever may be in our life, whatever needs that are going to come knock on the door, that just like all the other Pandava brothers, they saw the eye of the bird, they saw the bird, but they also saw the tree branch. They also saw the leaves blowing in the wind and all the other things that really can go on in infinite direction. But for us as devotees, the more that we keep our eye on the Guru, the more we focus on the Guru throughout our day, moment to moment, the more you'll find that all of these other things will begin to fall into place. As Christ said that seek ye first the kingdom of God, and all these things shall be added unto you. And this is truly the process of us as devotees, as yogis. What we need to learn in every circumstance of what we need is to learn to work with our energy. And that's what's inside of us. That's what's real. And that's what will be with us until we leave this body, is working with our energy. So working with learning through every circumstance, how to keep the energy flowing inward and upward, focusing at the point between the eyebrows, And yes, we're going to have lots of responsibilities. We're going to have a lot of things that are going to come into our life, into our world. But try to see that everything that has come to you is an opportunity for further growth and an opportunity to extract from every circumstance the invitation of the Guru to focus and to offer it to him. The Guru is not just the teacher. The Guru has taken on the responsibility. This is beautiful. The Guru has taken on the responsibility on behalf of the devotee to usher him to God, to continue to open up the doors according to the devotee's readiness until at last, that last door, which he opens to, of course, the realization of oneness with God. There's many other things I'd like to share, but I want to leave enough room for Erin to share. I'll close with this, a quote from our Guru. As Yogananda ji said, as human beings, we have been endowed with needs, and we must meet their demands. As man, as a physical, mental, and spiritual being, he must look after his all-around welfare, avoiding one-sided overdevelopment. To possess wonderful health and good appetite with no money to maintain that health or to satisfy that hunger is agonizing. To have lots of health, lots of wealth, and lots of trouble with yourself and others is pitiable. To have lots of health, wealth, and mental efficiency, but lack of peace and no knowledge of the ultimate truth is useless and dissatisfying. And so you may remember the story that Guruji would often tell. In fact, he said in one of his talks, I've told this story 1,000,000 times, he said, but I'm going to tell you again. And I'm not going to tell the whole story, but remember the story of the man who was just at the moment before his death, and the Lord appeared and said, can I do anything for you in the next life? What do you want? What do you need? And of course, he said, good health, because he was suffering from bad health in that life. In the next incarnation, he had good health, but he was poor. So the Lord appeared again at the end of his life and said, what do you want? What do you need in your next life? He said, I want good health, good wealth, and then I want a good wife. And the list goes on until, of course, the Lord appeared and he said, what now? And of course, the devotee said, I'm on to you. I know what the answer is. I want you alone. I want you alone. So for us, just the same, to watch our energy as we continue navigating forward through this particular time of uncertainty, to try to work on trusting the Guru. And just as our Guru said that knowledge of God must precede the love of God, because how can you love that which you don't know? So just the same for us, during these uncertain times, we're trying to learn how to trust the Guru, to trust that whatever is in front of us is exactly what we need to be learning and to growing from. We don't have to go reaching out for many more things. The Guru has given you enough to work with. So to work on that trust, just the same as we need to deepen our attunement. Because when we deepen attunement, through chanting, through meditating, by praying, by keeping a conversation with the Guru all day, he's your beloved friend. Hold his hand through all your circumstances, your joyful experiences, and your sorrows. And as you do this, you'll begin to also get to know the Guru, attune to the Guru, and that trust will begin to develop. And when you trust the Guru, there's nothing that can come into your life that will steal away that peace, that joy, and that absolute certainty of God's love in your heart, that you're cared for and that you are loved. So all my very beloved friends, I wish you many blessings at this time, that you feel Guruji so close to you, blessing you in every moment and freeing you into living in a constancy of remembrance of who you are. So such a blessing to be with you all today.
It is wonderful to see everyone, some old friends, some new friends. I'd like to start with a little guided meditation on this, because like Jitendra was saying, everything that's happening in our lives, everything that comes to us is exactly what we need. It's from the Guru. And when we cultivate that trust, we realize that. But sometimes there's things that are really hard to really accept in that way. And so I'd like to do a guided meditation from Bharat's book called Om, the Melody of Love. If you feel to, closing your eyes sitting up, maybe just taking a deeper breath, relaxing with the out breath. Karma is an expression of divine love. Everything that comes to us is made especially for us by God to free us from all limitation. Visualize God as the Divine Mother standing before you. You may visualize Yogananda or another saint, whatever image awakens your heart. See her eyes gazing deeply into your own, filling you with her love. Know and feel that she is always with you, surrounding you with her love, her light and protection, her strength. Think now of a karma that is challenging for you. See Divine Mother holding before you this karmic test. See her smile as she reaches out and offers this test to you with loving kindness. Reach your arms and take hold of this karma. Bring this karmic challenge into your heart. Feel yourself accept this precious gift sent from the wisdom of the universe. Know that it is a perfect gift sent by Divine Mother to help your soul become free. Feel that sense of inner freedom, no matter the outward circumstance. In your heart, embrace this karmic test fully with gratitude and trust. This karma can help you raise your energy level and consciousness to the level on which your godly nature resides. Focus now at the point between the eyebrows. See yourself rising to meet this karmic test and transcending its limitations, feeling the strength of the masters of Divine Mother, filling every cell of your body, strengthening you, guiding you, showing you just what you need. See yourself becoming free in God through this test. Feel the bliss of being united with Spirit. Peace. Amen. So just taking a moment to shift our perspective on what's coming up in our lives can be really powerful. And if we're taking time each day to meditate or to pray in some way, that's our opportunity to shift that perspective and to see whatever's coming to us in our lives as exactly what we need. Every test, Swami Kriyananda said, every test is a test of energy. And it's just a matter of raising our energy to meet whatever is there. The reassuring thing is we're never given more than what we can handle at any one moment. The karma meets the energy and we raise our energy, and then the karma goes up and we raise our energy again until finally we're free. I thought I'd talk just a little bit about sort of the practical side of this. How do we meet these things that are coming up in our lives? Yes, that's lovely. It's exactly what we need, but how do we meet that? What do we do with that when it comes to us? Because, you know, we sometimes have our own ideas of what we need or what we might like, and Guru has a bigger plan. And so how to tune into that and really work with that joyfully and willingly, and not find ourselves in resistance. Or what do we do when we do find ourselves in resistance? Jitendra spoke beautifully about just how to really set our intention, you know, what really matters. I took a course on nonviolent communication, and they talk about needs, identifying needs, but instead of using the word need, they talk about what matters most. And I think that helps me think about it more clearly. So just, I don't know, every day asking yourself, what really matters? What matters most to me in this moment, in this day? That's the beautiful opportunity we have in meditation and in prayer, is to just reset that intention and turn our attention back to God and really make that the pole star of our lives. A friend of mine shared recently that she has this sacred bowl that she keeps on her kitchen table, and every morning she energetically places her intentions for the day in that bowl, and just sort of as a physical reminder of, you know, offering whatever it is, whatever your need, whatever your desire is, offering that to God and putting God first in that, and realizing that it's through Him that all things will happen. So I thought that was a really sweet kind of physical practice that you could do. I also have at different times kept a little book on my altar that I'll write my prayers in. It's really powerful to write things down. There's a little more energy involved and intention. And so just, you know, dear Master, and just whatever is on my mind, I need help with this, or whatever it is. And just, it helps clarify what that intention, what really matters. It's another opportunity to clarify that for myself. Because I think, we're in a satsang like this and we all think, yes, of course, God, yes, that's what really matters. And then we go back into our daily life and all these things come to us and try to distract us and seem to matter quite a lot. And they do. And so it's just a matter of how can I bring God into that? And I think that little prayer book has been so helpful for me because, it's like, oh, I have to have a meeting with a parent today. And so let me write to Master about this and just let him know I need his help and I'm thinking about him and he's going to be there with me. It's just a way to kind of create that groove in my mind. Another fun practice that a friend of mine shared is making daily vows. So vows are really beautiful and powerful. And sometimes it can feel, a little overwhelming if I'm like thinking, oh, I need to take this on for like 30 days or something, which is also really beautiful. And if you have the energy, like go for it, 30 or 40 days of a particular practice. But if you don't quite have enough energy for that, just do one day, just one little vow. What am I going to do? What's one thing I can commit to doing today? So I tried it out and so maybe tonight before you go to bed, make a vow for tomorrow. Like tomorrow, I'm going to energize 2 times or 1 time. Maybe I'm not energizing at all. I'm just going to energize 1 time. Or I commit to what's your meditation going to be? Like maybe you've been really trying to get your meditation to be stronger or longer. And it can feel overwhelming. Like I can't meditate for an hour. That's too much. Okay. So for tomorrow, I commit to meditate for 20 minutes and just keep that commitment. And then the next day, you just only have to do it for a day. And then the next day, make a new commitment and just the momentum of it will build over time. It's just a little kind of trick to play on your mind to get yourself going. Because sometimes that's all we need is to get the energy moving. And then energy has its own intelligence and its own momentum and magnetism, and it will bring you forward. The guru will come to help you with that when you set that intention and you put out just that little bit of energy. He meets us more than halfway. So just getting ourselves going can be a big help. Magnetism is really, really powerful and really important. I think about this challenging time and, we want our best qualities come out in a challenging time like this, and they don't always. And that can add to the challenge. One of the most powerful lessons I learned from my father's family was about this, which is that we are who we practice being. When a challenge comes, we're not suddenly like some new person that we haven't been before. We're whoever we are or whoever we've practiced being. We have whatever we've practiced. So don't wait for the challenge to come. Every day, be preparing yourself for that. I learned this from my father's family. My dad passed away unexpectedly, and all of a sudden, my father's family was reacting terribly to this, and I just couldn't believe it. And then I realized, this is just who they are. This is who they've practiced being, and it was a real wake-up call to me. Like, wow, that's not how I want to respond. I want something more for myself, and so it kind of set me on this journey to find this path and my guru. And it's a constant practice every day, setting that intention. Yogananda says, the minutes are more important than the year. If you fill the minutes of your life with thoughts of God, you will find the years automatically saturated with the consciousness of God. Never think of tomorrow. Take care of today, and all the tomorrows will be taken care of. Do not wait until tomorrow to meditate. Do not wait until tomorrow to be good. Be good now. Be calm now. It will be the turning point of your life. So there's your inspiration. Do it now. There's no greater time than right. There is no other time. This is it. This is your time to become the person that you've been wanting to be. I think at the beginning of this all, I realized like, wow, I'm not really reacting the way I wish I could. Oh, great. Okay, here's my opportunity to strengthen those qualities that I know are good, but now the situation is in front of me that I need to develop those qualities, right? So this is like what I need, and the guru is giving me the opportunity for that. I think to just start with where you're at. Don't get discouraged, because this is a big situation, what's happening, and we're all being affected in different ways. And the most important thing we can remember is to not be discouraged, because that's Satan. Don't give up. Just find out like, what's your next step? What's the next thing that you can do? What's 1% more energy that you can put out? Even a little practice of this inward religion will save one from dire fears and colossal sufferings. So don't discredit that. We say that every week at Sunday service in the Festival of Light. There's a lot of power in that. And remembering that it's all energy. Just get the energy moving and it'll keep going. In the classroom, when I work with the children, we're thinking a lot about energy and meeting students sort of where they're at with their energy. So like if a student is really heavy and just like doesn't want to do anything, isn't even resisting, is just like has no energy to even do anything, expecting that student to like sing a song with us, like, you know, listen to nice music or like maybe meditate with us is like maybe a little too far. I don't know if anyone can relate to that in their own lives. You know, like sometimes our energy is just so low. Well, yes, we know it's good for us to meditate, but in that moment, that might not be what we need. So we also have to respond to ourselves and our energy where we are at and just take the next step to try and expand from where we're at. So in that case, I might try to tell the student a joke, get them laughing, right? Humor is a great way to move our energy. Or just get them to stand up, you know, or go for a walk. And so just like reflect for yourself when maybe there are times that you might just need to get up and change your environment or move or go get a drink of water, something small like that, just to shift your energy. Maybe you've been sitting at the computer for hours and suddenly you're, you know, you're so heavy you don't want to do anything and you're feeling discouraged. Just do something small to kind of shift that. Can make a big difference and get things going in the right direction. Because I think sometimes when everything's kind of feeling a little challenging, we like to take on even more. I don't know if I found this in my own life. Like if I find one thing that's like really challenging or not working, like suddenly I'm like, oh, I need to like, you know, now I have to have like a new meditation program and like, I'm going to change my diet. I'm going to like go exercise, you know, I like want to take on everything. And it's like, okay, hang on. Things are really challenging right now. Yes, I should like up my meditation maybe, but like, don't take on too much is what I'm saying. Motivated by just doing one small thing that you can in each moment, each day. One really fun practice is super conscious living exercises. There's one part in it where you say, I am positive, energetic, and then you jump up and say enthusiastic. So I am positive, energetic, enthusiastic. You can try that right now. And just even just raising your hands up over your head is a powerful way to just raise the energy. Swami said when you're dancing if you dance in a way that raises your arms over your head, it's raising the consciousness, it's raising the energy. So just feel like, how do you feel just putting your hands over your head? I know it's a little silly. It's kind of fun to see everybody doing that, but it's such a simple thing. It doesn't have to be complicated for it to be effective, to move the energy. Energy wants to move upward. So it's just like, as soon as you do anything that like starts to move in that direction, the energy is like, oh, great, let's do that. Yeah, that's where I wanted to go anyways. So just cooperating with the guru, with the consciousness of God that's already there, that's already present in your life. Well, just expanding a little bit on the quote that Jitendra shared at the end, where Yogananda's talking about, we do have needs. We're physical, mental, spiritual beings. We have all these aspects of ourselves, and we do need to develop ourselves in all those ways. We can't be, you know, we have to be balanced. He says avoiding one-sided overdevelopment. And then he talks a little bit about what that looks like. And that's the path of yoga. That's in the school we call it tools of maturity. So we talk about developing the body, the feeling, the will, and the intellect, right? The 4 aspects of ourselves. And we can all see those are all parts of every one of us. And maybe there are certain parts of us that are more developed, that are like, bring us a lot more joy. And maybe there's some parts of us that are a little more challenging for us. How can we bring more balance into that? That's often what's happening in our lives, is a response to where we're out of balance. So if you look at like what situations are present, what's coming up in your life, I've found in my experience that it's usually an opportunity to develop in some area that I'm a little out of balance. So being in the classroom with the children. I'm with 8 and 9-year-olds who are in their feeling years, and that's the place where I need to develop my compassion and just being in my heart and being in my feeling heart center more. And so there you go, there's a perfect opportunity. So wherever we are, whatever circumstances are presenting, it's often an opportunity to develop something in ourselves. And we can also use the places where we're really strong to motivate us and help us develop in other areas. So for example, if you're a really feeling person, you're like a bhakti yogi, you're really devotional, and like energization like just doesn't really, that's more of like a body and will activity. But you could like go outside and do energization in nature, do energization staring into the eyes of master in a photograph, and bringing your devotion into a physical activity or into a will activity, or listening to beautiful music while you do yoga postures. So something to like use that strength that you have in your heart and your devotion to help you develop other qualities. I could go into like tons of examples, and if you're curious, I'm happy to talk with people, but I won't go into that anymore. So yeah, just using where you're strong. We talk about like with the children, like where is their joy? Where is there already energy flowing? If there's a student that's really excited by challenge and is like really will oriented, like you can turn anything into a challenge and help that bring out other qualities so that they're balanced. Because if you have like feeling without body or intellect developed, you become like overly sensitive and kind of ungrounded. Or if you have will without intellect or feeling, you can be kind of ruthless. They're all wonderful aspects to develop, but they need to be in balance. And so there's always opportunities to be developing in those different areas. And then if you're just like, I don't know where I'm at or what I need to develop, this is like too much information, I don't know where to start, just try something. That's Yogananda's path, is one of experience and experimenting. Be like a spiritual scientist and just try something and see how you feel afterwards. Where is your consciousness? Where is your state of mind after you do something? Sometimes we can get caught on making the spiritual path like an outside in sort of thing, where like, okay, I need to like meditate this much and energize, and I'm gonna like chant, and I'm always gonna look at the spiritual eye, and I'm gonna dress like this, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna be, and it, but where's your consciousness and all that? And inside out. So anything you do, you could be working in the supermarket and be in God consciousness, or you could be meditating and worrying about your job. So it's not what you're doing outwardly, it's where you are inwardly that matters. I think the other, experimenting and then praying, Yogananda's highest prayer, I will reason, I will will, and I will act, but guide thou my reason, will, and activity to the highest good in all things. I will take care of it. Anything you need, just, I'm going to put out the energy. You have to guide where that's going to go. I'm going to try my best, and we're going to, and just keep coming back to, we're doing it together, coming back to that intention that you set, and let that guide you. I wanted to offer 3 writing prompts if people want to take a moment now or later to just finish these 3 sentences. What matters most right now is, and you can just take a moment if you want, even just to think about it and maybe answer it mentally. Just what comes up when you say that sentence to yourself. What matters most now is. And then I would invite you either now or later today to think of a vow that you'd like to make. Just for today, I vow. Just for today, I commit to. And just notice, like, what's the first thing that comes to mind that you'd like to put energy towards? Because sometimes we try to start with the hardest thing, the thing we think we should or do, and that sometimes if we go into something with a should energy, it doesn't always work out. So just like what already has energy moving towards it that you want to commit to. And then the last invitation would be to move from, if there's any worries on your mind right now, to help you shift that energy, I would offer the invitation to move from worry to wonder. So anything you're worrying about, see if you can create a sentence that says, I wonder. So what is it that, because there's a lot of unknowns, there's a lot of questions. I know when I was sitting to journal the other day, I just literally filled the whole page with questions. There was just no answers right now. And just acknowledging that and allowing yourself to be in that place of wonder, it opens up the opportunity for God to come in to connect with the guru, with what the guru is trying to give us, and just building that trust that Jitendra was talking about, right? Not needing to have the answers, but just trusting that the guru is there to answer all those questions in divine timing, in his own special way, if we just trust, right? So I wonder, and just letting it be a wonder. Just let it be that like open-ended, because it is anyways. And we try to answer those questions, and it contracts us. So just another way to kind of keep the energy open. So hopefully you have a few thoughts on something you might like to try moving forward to work with this and to work with your own energy and just keep expanding, keep the energy moving upward.